A prominent advisor to Russian President Vladimir Putin had his car blown up by a bomb over the weekend, killing his 29-year-old daughter. 29-year-old TV commentator Daria Dugina was killed in that explosion, and the incident has left many wondering about a possible link to the war in Ukraine. Charlie D'Agata reports.
Cell phone video said to show the fireball from the car bomb on the outskirts of Moscow. Dead at the scene, Daria Dugina, daughter of influential ultra-nationalist Alexander Dugin, an outspoken supporter for the war in Ukraine. Kyiv quickly denied responsibility, the president's office saying, unlike Russia, we are not a terrorist state. The target is believed to have been Dugin himself, a man often described as Putin's brain.
It does sound as if Mr. Putin is following your blueprint.
He spoke with 60 Minutes' Leslie Stahl in 2017 about his book promoting Russian expansionism, including the annexation of Ukraine.
He a little bit disappoints us because it takes too long.
But he did the first steps.
First step in the 17 years.
The attack has escalated tensions in the run-up to Ukraine's Independence Day on Wednesday, and 6 months since stunned Ukrainians heard this sound for the first time. And there go the air raid sirens. It's just another indication that although the city seems normal, nobody's running to the shelters, this city, this country is still in a state of war. The central square in Kyiv has become a trophy case of Russian tanks and armored vehicles captured or destroyed in combat, now climbing frames for kids and backdrops for selfies. President Zelensky has warned that Russia might be planning something particularly nasty to spoil Independence Day celebrations in revenge. 6 months after trying to capture the capital itself, probably not the Victory Day parade President Putin had hoped for.
So that was Charlie D'Agata reporting. For more on this, we want to bring in CBS News reporter Mary Ilyushina. Thank you so much for joining us, Mary. Let us start with Alexander Dugin. At one point, his nickname was Putin's brain. What exactly are his ties to Vladimir Putin, and how influential was he and is he now?
That is a topic of a lot of debate. Sort of in the West, he's considered, as you said, Putin's brain. Russian analysts really believe this is a little bit overstated, and that he never had direct access to Vladimir Putin. But what he's credited with is sort of putting on paper this intellectual idea of the Russian world that the Kremlin has at the very least adopted for this invasion. That they've sort of looked at this from the point of view of Russia extending and retaking their own historic lands, which is something that Dugin has been writing about and talking about for years. So he's definitely, in the sort of traditional conservative circles in Russia, is considered quite influential through these writings that he's been working on for years.
So you mentioned that Russian analysts may sort of downplay his influence on Vladimir Putin compared to the amount of, I guess, focus that he gets in the West. Then I'm wondering just how Russians are reacting to the news of this bombing.
Well, that is actually interesting because a lot of high-profile Russian, officials and Russian sort of state TV propagandists have been really shocked by and rattled by this sort of attack on his daughter, and potentially, the aim was him, and they've taken this as a sort of signal that they should consider their own security. For example, the chief of Russian RT channel that is, very well known for its anti-Western stance said that she's, has security now and she goes everywhere with security, and that, definitely rattled a lot of people in Moscow.
In the meantime, Ukraine is getting ready to mark its Independence Day. It's on the 24th, but Ukraine's president has warned people not to gather. In fact, implemented a curfew in several cities. What are officials afraid of?
Well, they're afraid of retaliatory attacks, and also this is a very symbolic day because it is Independence Day in Ukraine. This is something Russia essentially denies Ukraine, denies it as an independent state through this invasion. So, of course, they're expecting sort of a heightened level of attacks, and the Dugin situation is also now a cause of concern for them because it just now Russian security service officially came out and said that they blame Ukraine for this attack on the daughter of this philosopher. So that this is potentially going to escalate this even more, because we've already heard a lot of calls in Moscow from sort of the hawkish and more conservative groups to calling on Vladimir Putin to attack government buildings in Kiev. And as we know, some of the government workers in Kiev have been told to stay home and not come to work in this day around the Independence Day to avoid, potential casualties.
Mary, thank you very much.
Thank you.